Our story begins with a young girl named Anneliese Michel, a seemingly ordinary teenager living in West Germany in the 1970s. Anneliese was raised in a devoutly religious family, and her life appeared to be just like any other young woman's. But soon, inexplicable changes began to take hold of Anneliese. Her behavior became increasingly erratic, and her health began to deteriorate rapidly. Her parents and doctors were baffled by her condition, unable to find a medical explanation for her suffering. As her condition worsened, Anneliese herself began to believe that she was possessed by demonic forces. She reported hearing voices, seeing terrifying visions, and feeling a presence that seemed to torment her day and night. Desperate to help their daughter, Anneliese's family turned to the church for answers. They sought the aid of local priests and even appealed to the Vatican. The decision was made to perform an exorcism to rid Anneliese of the malevolent entities that had taken hold of her. The exorcism itself was a grueling and harrowing process that spanned many months. Anneliese's torment during these sessions was beyond comprehension, with her displaying superhuman strength and uttering chilling, blasphemous phrases in voices that were not her own. But the story takes a tragic turn. Anneliese's already fragile health deteriorated further, and on July 1, 1976, she tragically passed away. Her death was attributed to malnutrition and dehydration, and she was only 23 years old. The case of Anneliese Michel remains a subject of intense debate. Some see it as a tragic case of mental illness and medical neglect, while others believe it was a genuine case of possession. Whatever the truth may be, it's a story that continues to haunt our collective imagination. The year was the late 1920s, and the Foister family had just moved in. Innocence soon gave way to terror as the rectory became a playground for the supernatural. Phantom footsteps echoed through the halls, and the walls seemed to hold secrets untold. But it was when the Reverend Lionel Foister and his wife, Marianne, took up residence that the haunting took a nightmarish turn. Marianne, tormented by spectral visions, reported a chilling apparition, a phantom nun, her eyes black as the void, drifting through the moonlit night. As darkness enveloped Borley Rectory, the paranormal investigator Harry Price stepped onto the stage. What he uncovered would send shivers down the spines of the bravest souls. Mysterious footsteps, ghostly messages etched on the walls, and a pervasive feeling of dread. But the shadows held darker secrets. In 1939, a blazing inferno reduced the rectory to ruins. Some whispered that it was not mere chance that sparked the fire, but the malevolent spirits of Borley Rectory themselves, exacting their revenge on the living. The legacy of Borley Rectory lingers in the chill of the night, and the ruins are said to be cursed, harboring the restless spirits of the past. The question remains, was Borley Rectory truly the most haunted house in England? Or was it a diabolical dance of madness and despair? The story begins in the 1950s when the Sherman family purchased the ranch. What initially seemed like a serene countryside retreat soon transformed into a nightmare. The Shermans reported a range of strange phenomena, from mysterious creatures to inexplicable crop circles. But the most unsettling aspect of the ranch is its connection to the Native American legend of skinwalkers, shape-shifting entities with malevolent intent. Locals have long believed that skinwalkers roam the area, taking on various forms to instill fear and harm. The list of inexplicable phenomena at Skinwalker Ranch is staggering. It includes UFO sightings, mysterious crop circles, cattle mutilations, and encounters with strange creatures. Witnesses have described seeing flying orbs, shadowy figures, and even portals to other dimensions. The ranch has attracted the attention of scientists, researchers, and paranormal enthusiasts alike. In the early 2000s, businessman Robert Bigelow purchased the property and initiated the National Institute for Discovery Science, NIDS, to investigate the paranormal occurrences. Their findings remain largely undisclosed. To this day, the Skinwalker Ranch continues to be a hotbed of paranormal activity. Visitors and researchers who dare to venture onto the property often leave with more questions than answers, as if the very fabric of reality itself is warped within those boundaries. The story of the Perron family haunting is set in a quaint 18th century farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island. In 1971, Roger and Carolyn Perron, along with their 5 daughters, moved into the old and charming farmhouse, hoping for a peaceful country life. Initially, the Perrons experienced what they thought were harmless, though eerie, phenomena. They heard strange noises like unexplained footsteps, whispers in the night, and doors mysteriously opening and closing. Carolyn claimed to have seen spirits and heard voices in the house. As time passed, the paranormal activity escalated. The Perron family began witnessing terrifying apparitions. One of the most chilling entities was that of a woman in a gray dress who appeared with lifeless, black, and hollow eyes. The family also saw the spirits of several children, a man who appeared to have hung himself in the barn, and an old woman who would later become known as Bathsheba. Bathsheba Thayer, a 19th century woman who had lived on the property, was rumored to have been involved in occult practices and witchcraft. Her malevolent presence seemed to dominate the Perron household. Carolyn Perron felt particularly targeted by Bathsheba, who would allegedly torment her both physically and psychologically. The Perrons suffered physical attacks from the malevolent entities. They were scratched, pinched, and even bitten by invisible forces. Carolyn Perron bore the brunt of these attacks, often waking up with unexplained bruises and marks on her body. Fearing for their safety and sanity, the Perrons sought the help of paranormal investigators, including Ed and Lorraine Warren, who would later become famous for their involvement in other cases, including the Amityville Horror. Several exorcisms were performed at the farmhouse, but the malevolent spirits seemed resilient and were not easily banished. The relentless torment took a severe toll on the Perron family. Their lives were upended, and they lived in perpetual fear. The children were subjected to sleepless nights and constant terror. The Perrons endured this ordeal for nearly a decade. The Perron family's story inspired the 2013 horror film The Conjuring, directed by James Wan, which brought their haunting to a global audience. The film, while dramatized, captures the essence of their terrifying experiences. The Enfield poltergeist is one of the most famous cases of paranormal activity in British history. The story unfolds in a seemingly ordinary council house at 284 Green Street in Enfield, London. In August 1977, Peggy Hodgson, a single mother, and her 4 children moved into the house. The Hodgson family's ordeal began innocently with strange knocking sounds and furniture moving on its own. Initially, they tried to dismiss these occurrences as mere oddities, but the activity quickly escalated. Soon, the family encountered a malevolent presence. Janet Hodgson, the 11-year-old daughter, became the focal point of the poltergeist's attention. She exhibited bizarre behavior, including levitation, speaking in a deep, gravelly voice, and being thrown across rooms by unseen forces. The Hodgson family's plight attracted the attention of neighbors, police officers, and even journalists who witnessed the unexplainable events. The story also piqued the interest of paranormal investigators, most notably Maurice Grosse and Guy Lyon Playfair, of the Society for Psychical Research, SPR. The Enfield poltergeist exhibited classic signs of poltergeist activity. Objects levitated and were hurled across rooms. Furniture moved of its own accord, and strange, disembodied voices filled the air. One chilling photograph even appeared to show Janet levitating above her bed. During the investigation, a spirit identified himself as Bill Wilkins, a former resident of the house who had passed away. Bill's voice, as channeled through Janet, was deep and gravely, and he claimed to have died in the house in 1938. Bill's voice became an integral part of the case and even spoke of an afterlife. The Enfield poltergeist case divided both the paranormal and skeptic communities. While many believed the Hodgson family's account and the investigators' findings, skeptics suggested that the girls may have faked some incidents for attention. The activity at the Enfield house continued for approximately 2 years, gradually diminishing in intensity. Eventually, the Hodgson family moved out of the house in 1979, leaving behind the haunting experiences that had forever altered their lives. The Enfield poltergeist remains a topic of fascination and debate in the realm of the paranormal. It has inspired books, documentaries, and even a fictionalized adaptation in the TV series The Enfield Haunting. The case continues to captivate those interested in the unexplained, leaving unanswered questions about the true nature of the phenomena that plagued the Hodgson family. The Smurl haunting took place in the 1980s in a duplex house in West Pittston, Pennsylvania. Jack and Janet Smurl, along with their 4 daughters, moved into the house, initially unaware of the horrors that awaited them. The haunting began subtly with minor, inexplicable events. The Smurl family noticed unusual sounds, strange odors, and electrical malfunctions in their home. However, these eerie occurrences soon escalated into full-fledged paranormal activity. The Smurl family endured physical assaults as well. They reported being scratched, bitten, and thrown across rooms by the entities. The relentless attacks left them traumatized and terrified. Desperate for help, the Smurl family turned to the Warrens, well-known paranormal investigators, for assistance. Ed and Lorraine Warren conducted investigations and concluded that the Smurl home was indeed infested by malevolent entities. The Catholic Church became involved in the case, performing multiple exorcisms on the Smurl home to rid it of the malevolent entities. Despite these efforts, the hauntings persisted, leading to more exorcism attempts. The Smurl haunting garnered significant media attention, turning the family's ordeal into a public spectacle. It divided opinion, with some believing the family's claims while others dismissed them as a hoax or mental illness. The relentless paranormal activity took a toll on the Smurl family's mental and physical health. Eventually, they decided to move out of the haunted house and leave the horrifying experiences behind. The Smurl haunting remains a highly controversial and debated case in the paranormal community. While some believe it to be a genuine case of demonic possession and haunting, others consider it a case of mass hysteria or hoax. Regardless of the true nature of the events, the Smurl family's terrifying experiences have left a lasting mark in the annals of paranormal history. The Villisca axe murders occurred in the small town of Villisca, Iowa, on the night of June 9, 1912. The Moore family, consisting of parents Josiah and Sarah Moore and their 4 children, along with 2 young house guests, Lena and Ina Stillinger, were the victims of this brutal and unsolved crime. During the early morning hours of June 10, 1912, an unknown assailant entered the Moore family's home and bludgeoned all 8 occupants to death with an axe. The killer struck each victim repeatedly, leaving a gruesome and horrifying crime scene. The murders were discovered later that morning when a neighbor grew concerned after not seeing any activity at the Moore residence. The neighbor entered the home and found the lifeless bodies of the family and their guests. The investigation into the Villisca axe murders was marred by challenges. The crime scene had been compromised by curious onlookers, hindering the collection of evidence. Suspects were considered, but none were definitively linked to the crime. Despite various theories and suspicions, the Villisca axe murders remain unsolved to this day. The brutal and senseless nature of the crime, combined with the lack of concrete leads, has turned it into one of the most enduring mysteries in American criminal history. The Moore house, where the murders took place, gained a reputation for being haunted. Over the years, numerous reports of paranormal activity, including ghostly apparitions, strange sounds, and eerie sensations, have been associated with the residence. The Villisca axe murders occurred in the small town of Villisca, Iowa, on the night of June 9, 1912. The Moore family, consisting of parents Josiah and Sarah Moore and their 4 children, along with two young house guests, Lena and Ina Stillinger, were the victims of this brutal and unsolved crime. The Villisca axe murders occurred in the small town of Villisca, Iowa, on the night of June 10, 1912. The Moore family, consisting of parents Josiah and Sarah Moore and their 4 children, along with two young house guests, Lena and Ina Stillinger, were the victims of this brutal and unsolved crime. The Villisca axe murders continue to captivate the public's imagination and have been the subject of books, documentaries, and paranormal investigations. The tragedy serves as a reminder of the enduring impact of unsolved crimes and the enduring search for answers in the face of horrifying events. The Cecil Hotel, located in downtown Los Angeles, has a dark and storied history that spans nearly a century. When it first opened its doors in 1927, it was intended to be a luxurious destination for business travelers and tourists. However, over the years, the hotel earned a reputation for being one of the most notorious and haunted places in Los Angeles. In 1947, Elizabeth Short, also known as the Black Dahlia, was rumored to have been seen at the hotel's bar shortly before her murder. This association added to the hotel's eerie reputation. The hotel gained notoriety for being a hotspot for suicides. Numerous individuals jumped to their deaths from its windows. Additionally, several murders and unexplained deaths occurred within its walls over the years. The most infamous incident at the Cecil Hotel involved the mysterious death of Elisa Lam in 2013. Her body was found in one of the hotel's water tanks on the roof. Security footage captured her acting strangely in an elevator before her death, sparking widespread speculation and conspiracy theories. Due to its grim history, the Cecil Hotel is believed to be haunted by the spirits of those who met tragic ends within its confines. Guests and staff members have reported eerie occurrences, including unexplained noises, strange apparitions, and unsettling encounters. The Cecil Hotel struggled with a sordid reputation and a decline in business over the years. In 2017, it was rebranded as Stay on Main, attempting to distance itself from its dark past. However, the hotel's history continued to linger in the public's memory. The Cecil Hotel's dark history has inspired documentaries, books, and true crime investigations. It remains a cautionary tale of the impact of a location's history on its reputation. The Cecil serves as a reminder of the eerie and often tragic mysteries that can be hidden behind the doors of seemingly ordinary places. Elisa Lam, a 21-year-old Canadian student, embarked on a solo trip to the United States in January 2013. Her journey took her to Los Angeles, where she checked into the Cecil Hotel, now rebranded as Stay on Main, in downtown LA. Unfortunately, this visit would become one of the most baffling mysteries of the modern era. Elisa was last seen on January 31, 2013, when she was captured on surveillance camera footage inside the Cecil Hotel's elevator. In the footage, she appeared to be behaving erratically, pushing multiple elevator buttons, peering out of the elevator, and making odd gestures as if she was conversing with someone who was not visible. Elisa's disappearance prompted a widespread search, and her body was found nearly 3 weeks later, on February 19, 2013, in one of the hotel's rooftop water tanks. Her remains were in an advanced state of decomposition. In June 2013, the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office officially ruled Elisa Lam's death as accidental. The cause of death was determined to be drowning, with bipolar disorder listed as a significant factor. Elisa Lam's story has left an indelible mark on popular culture, inspiring documentaries, books, and podcasts. It serves as a reminder of the complexities surrounding mental health and the mysteries that can surround even the most seemingly straightforward cases. The inexplicable circumstances of her death continue to captivate the public's imagination, making it a modern-day enigma that lingers in our collective memory. The flight. On March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines flight May 370, a Boeing 777, 200er departed from Kuala Lumpur International Airport on a routine flight to Beijing Capital International Airport. The flight carried 239 people on board, including passengers and crew members. Just over an hour after takeoff, communication with Flight ME 370 was lost. Radar and satellite data revealed that the aircraft had deviated from its planned flight path and was heading south over the southern Indian Ocean, far off course. The aircraft's transponder had been deliberately turned off, and it had stopped responding to air traffic control. In the days and weeks following the disappearance, an extensive multinational search and rescue operation was launched, involving ships and aircraft from multiple countries. Despite these efforts, no wreckage or definitive evidence of the aircraft's fate was found. The disappearance of Flight ME 370 spawned numerous theories and speculation about its fate. Pilot suicide. Some suggested that one of the pilots may have intentionally crashed the plane. Hijacking. There were theories that the plane may have been hijacked, leading to its disappearance. Mechanical failure. Others believed that a mechanical failure or fire could have incapacitated the crew and passengers. Alien abduction and conspiracy theories. More outlandish theories speculated about extraterrestrial involvement and government cover-ups. In July 2015, more than a year after the disappearance, a piece of the aircraft's wing, known as a flaperon, washed up on the shores of Reunion Island in the Indian Ocean. This discovery confirmed that the plane had indeed crashed in the southern Indian Ocean, but the reasons for its deviation and disappearance remained unknown. The disappearance of Flight ME 370 is one of the most perplexing mysteries in aviation history. Despite extensive searches and investigations, the main wreckage of the aircraft and the majority of the passengers' remains have not been located. The Malaysian government officially declared the disappearance an accident in 2015, and the search was suspended in 2018. The disappearance of Flight ME 370 remains a haunting reminder of the limits of technology and human understanding. It has also led to improvements in aircraft tracking and communication systems to prevent similar incidents in the future. The fate of the aircraft and its passengers continues to be a subject of intense interest, speculation, and sorrow for the families of those on board.